Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I've got a question for you. What's the single biggest driver of long-term wealth for most millionaires in America? Is it stocks? Their business? Their high-paying job? Nope. It's real estate. And it might surprise you how accessible it actually is, even if you're starting from zero. If you've ever thought real estate investing sounds amazing, but also incredibly complicated and expensive, then this video is for you. We're going to demystify it, break down the numbers, and show you exactly how regular people, just like you, are using real estate to build serious wealth. I'm talking about strategies that let you live for free, invest with little money down, and generate passive income. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, because by the end of this, you'll have a clear roadmap to start your own real estate investing journey. Real estate investing often feels like a secret club, reserved for the rich or those with a ton of connections. But that's simply not true. While it certainly can be expensive and complex, there are incredibly powerful entry points that are within reach for most of us. And once you understand the core principles, you'll see that it's less about luck and more about strategy and consistent action. So, why real estate? What makes it such a powerful wealth-building tool compared to, say, just investing in the stock market? Well, there are a few key reasons. First, you get appreciation. Historically, real estate tends to increase in value over time. While there are ups and downs, over decades, property values generally go up. Think about how much a house cost in your parents' generation versus today. Second, you get cash flow. This is the money left over after all your expenses are paid each month. It's truly passive income that lands in your bank account, often from someone else paying your mortgage. Third, and this is a big one, is leverage. With real estate, you can control a large asset with a relatively small amount of your own money. Imagine buying a $300,000 property with just a 5% down payment of $15,000. You're leveraging $15,000 to control an asset worth 20 times that amount. That kind of leverage is hard to find elsewhere. Fourth, there are significant tax benefits. From deducting mortgage interest and property taxes to depreciation, real estate investors often enjoy substantial tax advantages that can boost their returns. And finally, real estate is a fantastic inflation hedge. As the cost of living goes up, so do rents and property values, protecting your wealth from being eroded by inflation. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, okay, great, but how do I even start when I barely have enough saved for a rainy day, let alone a down payment on a whole house? That's a valid concern, and it brings us to our first entry point, which requires very little capital and zero landlord responsibilities: real estate investment trusts, or REITs. Think of REITs as the mutual funds of real estate. Instead of buying physical property yourself, you're buying shares in companies that own, operate, or finance income-producing real estate. These can be apartment complexes, shopping malls, office buildings, data centers, cell towers, even timberland. When you invest in a REIT, you become a fractional owner of a diverse portfolio of properties, without ever having to deal with a leaky faucet or a late-paying tenant. The biggest advantage of REITs is their accessibility. You can buy shares of a REIT for as little as a few dollars, just like you would any other stock. You can even invest in a REIT exchange-traded fund, or ETF, which holds a basket of different REITs, giving you instant diversification. This means you can start investing in real estate with $100, $500, or whatever you can afford today. REITs are also highly liquid, meaning you can buy and sell shares easily on the stock market, unlike physical property which can take months to sell. Plus, by law, REITs have to distribute at least 90% of their taxable income to shareholders annually in the form of dividends, which often makes them attractive for passive income. However, REITs aren't without their downsides. You don't have direct control over the properties, and their value can fluctuate with the stock market. You also don't get the same leverage or tax benefits that you would from owning physical property directly. But as a low barrier to entry option to dip your toes into real estate and enjoy some passive income, REITs are fantastic. If you're a complete beginner with limited funds, starting with a broad market REIT ETF like VNQ or XLRE is a great way to get started and build some confidence before moving on to more direct property ownership. But for those of you ready to roll up your sleeves a bit more and experience the true power of direct real estate ownership, let's talk about house hacking. This is, in my opinion, the ultimate cheat code for getting into real estate with minimal upfront cost and maximum benefit. What is house hacking? It's simply buying a multi-unit property, or even a single-family home with extra rooms, living in one part of it, and renting out the rest. The goal? to have your tenants pay for all, or at least most, of your mortgage and housing expenses, allowing you to live for free or significantly reduce your living costs. Imagine paying zero for rent or your mortgage. That's what house hacking can achieve. Let's walk through a real-world example of how this might work. Let's say you find a triplex, that's a building with 3 separate dwelling units, in a decent area for $600,000. You plan to live in one unit and rent out the other 2. As an owner-occupant, you can qualify for favorable loan terms, like an FHA loan, which only requires a 3.5% down payment. So, 3.5% of $600,000 is just $21,000. That's a significant amount, yes, but it's far less than the 20% down payment of $120,000 typically required for an investment property. Now, let's estimate the monthly costs for this triplex. A $579,000 loan, that's $600,000 minus your $21,000 down payment, at, say, 7% interest over 30 years would give you a principal and interest payment of roughly $3,850 per month. Add in property taxes, which could be around $500 per month depending on your location, and homeowner's insurance, perhaps another $150 per month. Don't forget FHA mortgage insurance premium, which adds another $400 or so. So, your total monthly housing cost, including principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and mortgage insurance, might be around $4,900 per month. Yes, that's a big number. But here's where the magic of house hacking comes in. Let's say the 2 other units in your triplex can each rent for $1,900 per month. That's $3,800 in rental income coming in every single month. So, your total housing expense is $4,900, and your rental income is $3,800. This means your personal housing cost for living in one unit is reduced to just $1,100 per month. That's a massive saving compared to paying full rent or a mortgage for a single-family home. And often, with careful budgeting and finding a property with slightly higher rents or lower costs, you can get that personal housing cost down to zero, or even achieve positive cash flow while living there. Imagine having an extra $1,000, or more, in your pocket every month because your home is paying for itself. This strategy frees up a tremendous amount of your income to save, invest, or just enjoy life. House hacking isn't just about the financial savings, it also gives you invaluable experience as a landlord and property manager, all while living on site to quickly address any issues. It sets you up perfectly to buy your next investment property because you'll have proven income and experience. And after a year or 2, you can move out, rent out your unit, and turn the whole property into a pure investment, potentially generating even more cash flow. Now, let's move beyond house hacking and talk about traditional rental properties. This is where you purchase a property solely for the purpose of renting it out to tenants, generating income, and building equity. This is where understanding the numbers becomes absolutely critical. You hear people talk about cash flow positive properties all the time, but what does that actually mean? Let's run through an example to illustrate how to calculate potential cash flow. This is the math you must do before you buy any rental property. Let's say you're looking at a single-family home to buy as a rental. Purchase price $300,000. Down payment for an investment property, lenders typically require a 20 to 25% down payment. Let's use 20%, so $60,000. Loan amount $240,000. Now, let's estimate the monthly income and expenses. Potential monthly rent let's say comparable homes in the area rent for $2,800 per month. This is your gross scheduled income. Expenses this is where many beginners make mistakes. They only account for the mortgage. But there are many other costs. 1. Mortgage payment, principal and interest for a $240,000 loan at 7% interest over 30 years.